He hadn't walked in 17 years. A tragic accident, a shattered spine, and a billion-dollar empire built from a wheelchair. Then one night, in a dusty roadside diner in New Mexico, a quiet woman slid a steaming cup toward him and said 6 words, "Drink this and you will walk." He thought it was a cruel joke, or worse, poison. But what happened next? It defied every medical explanation, every scientific law. And it exposed a secret hidden for generations, one that powerful people would kill to keep buried. Stay with this story. Every second matters.it had been 17 years since Nathaniel Carrington's feet had touched the ground on his own terms. The last time he stood, he was 29, standing at the edge of a Montana cliff, laughing with his fiancée. A split-second misstep, a failed parachute, and a spine shattered like glass. Nathaniel lived, but barely. Doctors told him he'd never walk again. And they were right. In the years that followed, Nathaniel built Carrington Biotech from his hospital bed, then from a wheelchair. He became a billionaire, more out of spite than inspiration. He invested in spinal research, exoskeleton tech, stem cell labs, anything that hinted at walking again. Billions spent. No miracles. Not for him. Now 46, Nathaniel was as brilliant as he was bitter. Sharp cheekbones, steel grey eyes, and the kind of intensity that made grown men forget to breathe when he entered a room. He didn't smile. He didn't pretend. He didn't forgive. Every year, on the anniversary of the fall, he disappeared. No press, no assistance, just his old restored '68 Lincoln Continental and the open highway. This year, the drive had taken him south, through the cracked roads of Arizona, into New Mexico, chasing silence. The sun was setting when he spotted the place. A beat-up neon sign that just read "Diner" buzzed weakly in the dusk. It sat alone in the desert, wrapped in heat waves, a relic from the 50s. He wasn't hungry, but something about it tugged at him. Maybe the stillness. Maybe the smell of something warm on the wind. He parked, rolled out, and wheeled himself through the squeaky door. The bell above jingled once. Inside, the air was thick with fried onions, strong coffee, and memories. Vinyl booths lined the walls, a jukebox flickered near the back, and a single woman stood behind the counter, wiping the same cup for what looked like hours. She looked up as he entered, eyes sharp, mouth unreadable. "Take a seat," she said softly. "I've already got one," Nathaniel muttered, motioning to the chair beneath him. She didn't smile. She didn't look away. Just turned and poured coffee into a white ceramic mug, slid it across the counter toward him. Then, without warning, she said it. "Drink this and you will walk." Nathaniel stared at her, then at the cup. "Excuse me," he asked, voice steady but cold. "You heard me," she said, wiping her hands on her apron. "It'll taste bitter. You'll think I'm messing with you. But give it 20 minutes, and your legs'll start itching. That's how it starts." He didn't move, didn't touch the mug. "What is this, some backwater hustle?" he snapped. "You trying to sell me snake oil?" "I'm not selling anything," she replied. "It's free, if you want it." Nathaniel's heart thudded once in his chest. Something about her tone, low, matter-of-fact, like a doctor delivering a diagnosis, unsettled him. Not mocking, not playful, just certain. "I've had the world's top scientists burn through $3 billion, he said. "Are you telling me some waitress in the desert cooked up the cure to paralysis in a damn diner?" She didn't answer, just stared at him, calm as stone. He looked down at the mug. The liquid inside wasn't coffee. It was darker, thicker, smelled faintly of ash and sage and something floral beneath the surface. Like jasmine left out in the sun too long. He didn't drink it. Not yet. Instead, he asked her name. "Mariah," she said. "My mother was a healer. Her mother too. What's in that cup is older than both of them combined." He almost laughed. Almost. But her eyes wouldn't let him. He stared at the mug again. Then, slowly, he reached out. His hand trembled. His mind screamed not to. The liquid hit his tongue like fire and rust. Bitter, metallic, smoky, like burnt herbs soaked in old pennies. Nathaniel gagged halfway through the first sip. He slammed the mug down, coughing, wiping his lips with the back of his hand. "You trying to poison me?" he barked. Mariah didn't flinch. "If I was, you'd already be foaming." He grabbed a napkin, spit what he could onto it, glaring at her. "You seriously expect me to believe this swamp water's going to make me walk?" "I don't care what you believe," she said, calmly refilling the coffee pot behind the counter. "I just know what it does." Nathaniel wheeled back, furious at himself for even indulging the idea. He'd driven through this dust bowl looking for peace, not mysticism. Not this weird, desert sorcery from a stranger in a crusty apron. But then, a flicker. In his right thigh. Just a twitch. Like static. He froze. Looked down. Could have sworn he saw the muscle under his jeans flinch again. He leaned forward, pressing both palms against his thighs. He hadn't felt anything from the waist down in almost 2 decades. This couldn't be real. Phantom nerve reaction? Some twisted placebo? Another twitch. Stronger. Then a burning sensation. His calves started to tingle, like they'd fallen asleep and were waking back up. His voice dropped to a whisper. What the hell is happening to me? Mariah didn't answer. She just placed another napkin on the counter, folded neatly. On it, scrawled in delicate cursive, "If the itching begins, do not run." Not yet. Nathaniel read it, jaw clenched. What do you mean run? I can't even stand. His left foot jolted. Not a twitch. A full jerk. His legs kicked forward suddenly, knocking the wheel lock loose. His chair rolled back fast and smacked into the booth behind him. He grabbed the counter to steady himself, eyes wild. What is this? Mariah walked out from behind the counter, her face unreadable. You'll have 5 minutes, she said, her voice low. 5 minutes of motion before the pain hits. He stared at her, terrified and unsure if he was hallucinating. His body felt like it was boiling from the inside. Pressure building in his lower back, radiating down. Then the burning turned sharp. Electric. Like his nerves were rebooting. Screaming. He gasped. And then, he stood. Not slowly. Not shakily. He stood. The chair creaked behind him as it rolled away. Nathaniel's legs trembled, but they held. His eyes filled with tears, uninvited. His breath came in short, panic bursts. He looked down at his feet like they were ghosts returned from the dead. He took 1 step, then another, then collapsed forward onto his knees, screaming as the pain came crashing through his spine like a freight train. Blinding, violent. Everything his body had forgotten how to feel came roaring back at once. Mariah was already kneeling beside him. Breathe, she whispered. It's not breaking you, it's waking you. His voice cracked. Why would you do this to me? Because you weren't supposed to forget, she said. The man you were before the chair, he died on that cliff. But the one after, the one who survived everything? He never learned how to live again. Nathaniel fell backward, gasping, sweat pouring off his face. I don't understand, he whispered. You don't need to yet, she said. But others will come. When they find out what happened here, they'll try to take it. Twist it. Lock it in some vault. She handed him a key. Small. Brass. Cold in his palm. There's a place in Arizona, she said. Abandoned church in Sedona. In the crawl space under the altar, there's a ledger. Names. Formulas. What you drank tonight came from that line. You want the truth. Go find it before they do. He stared at her. Who are you? Mariah stood slowly, eyes dark and distant. I'm just the last one left who remembers. And still, he lifted it to his lips. Nathaniel didn't sleep that night. He drove for hours, fueled by adrenaline, painkillers, and 1,000 questions spinning like shrapnel through his skull. His legs still worked, barely, but every mile brought a new ache. A new burn. His muscles screamed in ways he'd never felt, like they were angry at being brought back to life too fast. By sunrise, he reached Sedona. The address Mariah had scribbled on the napkin led him to a crumbling Spanish mission just outside town. Desert weeds had swallowed most of the structure, its stained glass windows shattered, its bell tower leaning like a drunk giant. No cameras. No guards. Just wind and silence. He wheeled up the broken steps, legs too weak to risk walking again. Inside, the air was dry and heavy with dust. Light filtered through the broken roof in slants. The altar at the front was intact, the wood worn smooth from time and prayer. He rolled forward, scanned the floor, then found a rusted hinge beneath the baseboard. Creak. A trap door. He opened it. Below, darkness and a narrow crawl space no wider than a coffin. He dropped in, arms first, dragging his body like he had in those early post-accident days. The ground was hard-packed earth, dry, silent. Then he found it, a tin lockbox buried beneath a wooden plank. The brass key fit perfectly. Inside, wrapped in oilcloth, was a leather-bound book, old but untouched by time. No title, just initials etched into the corner, E.L. Nathaniel flipped it open. The first page was a list of names. Dozens, maybe hundreds, each followed by a date and a result. 1872 E. Isaac Weller. Paralyzed from mining collapse, administered blend A, walked. 1905, Clara Hensley, tuberculosis, blend C, died. 1959, Lewis Brighton, paralyzed Korean War vet, blend B, walked plus anomalies. 2003, Camille R., cerebral palsy, blend A, a modified, walked. Recovered. No further contact. He flipped through page after page. Each one handwritten. Formulas. Ratios. Ingredients he'd never heard of. Some scratched out violently in red ink. At the bottom of one page, scrawled in urgent letters. Never give blend D to anyone with spinal trauma plus trauma-linked identity fracture. Results, irreversible psychosis. Nathaniel's blood went cold. Then he found his name. 2025, Nathaniel Carrington, trauma, T9 complete spinal injury, blend B plus variant, result, initial recovery. Possible phase 2 reaction pending. He stared at it. The ink was fresh. Someone had already logged him. He slammed the book shut, breathing hard. Then he heard it. A creak. From upstairs. Not wind. Not wood shifting. Footsteps. He pulled the ledger to his chest and backed into the far corner of the crawl space. Dust fell through the cracks above. Boots moved slowly across the sanctuary. Deliberate. Searching. A voice, muffled, male, calm. He's here. I see the tracks. Another voice responded through a radio. Bring him alive if possible. The serum's mutating. Nathaniel's heart pounded. He clutched the book tighter. They knew. He remembered what Mariah said, others will come. But who were they? Government? Private labs? The same biotech companies he once funded? He had no time to wonder. A flashlight beam stabbed through the open trapdoor above. Got him. Nathaniel didn't hesitate. He grabbed the vial hidden inside the box, small, black glass, unlabeled. Whatever it was part of this. He swallowed it. The pain returned instantly. His legs jerked, then steadied. Heat surged through his back. But this time, there was no screaming. Just clarity. He stood in the crawl space. No wobble. No weakness. Just power. A hand reached down to grab him. Nathaniel yanked the man through the hole, slammed him to the dirt, and vanished into the sunlit ruins with the ledger tucked under his arm. He didn't know what he'd become. But he knew one thing now. Walking was just the beginning. Nathaniel didn't drive back to his estate. He didn't call his lawyers or his board of directors. He disappeared. Using a name that no longer existed, he booked a one-room cabin in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, New Mexico. No Wi-Fi. No GPS. No paper trail. Just him, the ledger, and whatever was happening inside his body. He didn't sleep much. Couldn't. His dreams were no longer dreams. They were memories, but not his own. They came in flashes. A railroad explosion in 1884. A black and white hospital room in 1939. A man standing in front of a mirror with 2 spinal scars, whispering the word phase 2. His body was changing. Fast. The nerve regeneration hadn't stopped. Muscle tissue was rebuilding at a rate that defied logic. His reflexes were sharper. Vision clearer. Scars he'd carried for years were fading. The pain was gone. But so was something else, something he couldn't name yet, a piece of himself that felt unrooted. On the 4th day, an envelope arrived. No address. No stamp. Just tucked under his cabin door. Inside was a single note. They found Camille. Phase 2 failed. She's gone. Don't let them replicate it. E.L. He froze. Camille R., the girl listed in the ledger. She was alive until recently. Someone, E.L., was still tracking the subjects. Nathaniel flipped to the back of the book, where pages had been torn out. But he noticed something strange. If held under the cabin's oil lamp, faint indents from the removed pages could be seen. He gently brushed the parchment with pencil shavings. A name emerged. Elias Langston. He searched the name in his mind like a hammer hitting stone. It rang something loose. Elias Langston was a researcher he'd met 11 years ago. Brilliant. Unhinged. Obsessed with ancient medicine. Got fired after claiming healing is not a future technology, it's a buried past. Nathaniel remembered laughing at him. Now, Elias might be the only man who understood what was happening to him. He opened the laptop he hadn't touched in days and went online using a secured tunnel. Searched Elias Langston. Nothing. No LinkedIn. No articles. No death record. Just one old forum post, archived deep in a forgotten domain. The blood route isn't the key. It's the carrier. The real cure is encoded in the trauma. Only those who've suffered can absorb it. The rest, go mad. Nathaniel read it twice. Encoded in the trauma. His mind snapped to Mariah's words, the man before the chair died. but the one after never learned how to live again. It wasn't just about legs. It was about memory, about identity. Whatever was in the drink, it didn't just rebuild the spine. It restructured who you were at the moment of your deepest break. Which meant if someone replicated it without that trauma, they'd go insane. He shut the laptop, heart racing. Then, another knock on the door. But this one wasn't a note. It was a man. Clean suit. Dark eyes. No emotion. "I believe you have something that belongs to us," the man said, stepping into the cabin without permission. Behind him, 2 more agents. Nathaniel didn't speak. He reached behind his back, grabbed the fire poker from the stove. The man's voice stayed calm. "You're not the first, Mr. Carrington, but you may be the last. The blend is mutating. We have to contain it." "Contain it?" Nathaniel hissed. "You're trying to own it." "That too." Then the agent raised his hand. But he never finished the gesture. Nathaniel moved. Not like a man. Not like anything fully human. He crossed the room in a blur, hit the first agent in the throat, spun, and knocked the second into the bookshelf with a force that cracked bone. The third reached for his weapon. Too slow. Nathaniel shattered his arm before he even drew. Breathing hard, Nathaniel stood over the last man groaning on the floor. "You don't know what you've unleashed," the agent choked. Nathaniel stared, something foreign flashing behind his eyes. "I know exactly what I am now," he said. And then he vanished into the trees. With a ledger. And a mission.